The moment the world held its breath has finally arrived, and what unfolded behind those palace walls will forever change how we understand royal duty, family loyalty, and the immense weight of wearing a crown. Before we dive deep into this extraordinary story, make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash the like icon, and share this video with everyone who loves royal drama, because what you're about to discover goes far beyond the official photographs and carefully crafted press releases. Drop your thoughts in the comments below as we unravel one of the most emotionally charged abdications in modern royal history. Picture this scene that millions witnessed yet few truly understood. The grand ceremonial hall filled with dignitaries, family members, and the weight of centuries of tradition pressing down on everyone present. At the center of it all stood Henri, a monarch who had dedicated decades of his life to his nation, his face etched with emotions so profound that cameras struggled to capture their full depth. This wasn't just another royal ceremony with rehearsed smiles and polished speeches. This was raw, this was real, and this was a family being torn apart and rebuilt simultaneously in front of the entire world. Henri's emotional state during the abdication ceremony revealed something most monarchs spend their entire reigns trying to hide: their humanity. Royal protocol typically demands stoicism, an almost superhuman ability to mask feelings behind a veneer of dignified composure. Yet there he stood, allowing the world to see tears glistening in his eyes, his voice wavering as he spoke words that would end his reign and begin another. Those who have studied royal body language for decades noted how his hands trembled slightly when signing the abdication documents, how he paused multiple times during his speech as if the weight of each word was almost too much to bear. This wasn't weakness, as some critics hastily suggested. This was a man confronting the end of an era, saying goodbye to an identity he had carried since birth, and doing so with a grace that only comes from genuine love for both family and country. But while Henri displayed the vulnerability of a father and a man stepping down from unimaginable responsibility, the cameras also caught something equally fascinating in Charles's reactions throughout the ceremony. His face became an unintentional canvas displaying the complexity of royal family dynamics. The grimaces that flashed across his features weren't simply expressions of sympathy or shared sadness. Body language experts who analyzed every frame of the ceremony noted moments of apparent tension, fleeting expressions that suggested conflicting emotions battling beneath the surface. Was it disappointment at not being the chosen successor? Was it concern for his brother Henri? Or was it the realization that the family hierarchy he had understood his entire life was shifting in ways he hadn't anticipated? Those brief moments of unguarded facial expressions told stories that official statements would never address, revealing the human drama playing out within the carefully choreographed royal spectacle. The contrast between Henri's tears and Charles's grimaces made Guillaume and Stéphanie's visible happiness even more striking and somewhat controversial. While one might expect solemn acceptance or subdued acknowledgement of their new roles, the couple radiated genuine joy that some observers found refreshing while others deemed inappropriate for such a bittersweet occasion. Stéphanie's smile lit up the ceremonial hall, and Guillaume's confident posture suggested a man ready to embrace his destiny rather than one burdened by unexpected responsibility. Their happiness wasn't arrogance or insensitivity to Henri's emotional sacrifice. Instead, it represented hope, the promise of renewal, and the natural cycle of generational transition that keeps monarchies relevant and connected to their people. Understanding their joy requires looking beyond the surface moment. Guillaume had spent years preparing for this role, living in his father's considerable shadow while building his own relationship with the people. Stéphanie had transformed from a commoner into a beloved royal figure through dedication, authenticity, and genuine commitment to charitable causes that resonated with ordinary citizens. Their happiness reflected not just personal achievement but also the relief of finally being able to fully serve in the capacity they had trained for, to implement ideas they had been developing, and to bring their own vision to a monarchy that desperately needed fresh perspectives to remain relevant in an increasingly questioning modern world. The abdication ceremony itself was meticulously planned yet filled with spontaneous emotional moments that no amount of royal protocol could contain. When Henri officially transferred power, placing the symbols of sovereignty into Guillaume's hands, time seemed to stop. Generations of history converged in that single gesture, and everyone present understood they were witnessing something that transcended politics or pageantry. This was about legacy, sacrifice, and the peculiar burden of being born or married into a role that demands everything while promising constant scrutiny and limited personal freedom. What makes this abdication particularly significant extends beyond the emotional displays captured in photographs. Henri's decision to step down while still relatively healthy and capable represents a modern approach to monarchy that challenges centuries of tradition. Historically, monarchs ruled until death, viewing their position as a divine appointment that couldn't be voluntarily relinquished. Henri's choice to abdicate sends a powerful message that serving one's country effectively sometimes means knowing when to pass the crown to someone with the energy, vision, and contemporary perspective needed for changing times. This philosophical shift in understanding royal duty could influence other monarchies grappling with aging sovereigns and restless populations demanding more dynamic leadership. The public reaction to the abdication revealed deep divisions in how citizens view their royal family. Some praised Henri's selflessness and emotional honesty, seeing his tears as proof that monarchs truly care about their nations and feel the weight of their responsibilities. Others criticized what they perceived as Guillaume and Stéphanie's excessive enthusiasm, questioning whether they fully understood the challenges ahead. Still others focused entirely on Charles's expressions, spinning conspiracy theories about family rifts, succession disputes, and hidden drama that may or may not exist beyond fevered imaginations. Social media exploded with analysis, memes, and hot takes that ranged from thoughtful commentary to absurd speculation, proving once again that royal watching remains a national obsession that unites and divides in equal measure. Looking forward, Guillaume and Stéphanie face enormous expectations as they begin their reign. The happiness they displayed during the abdication ceremony will be tested repeatedly as they navigate economic challenges, political pressures, and the constant comparison to Henri's long and generally successful tenure. Their ability to maintain that joy while shouldering increasingly heavy responsibilities will determine not just their success as monarchs but potentially the future relevance of the monarchy itself. If they can bring fresh energy, genuine connection with younger generations, and meaningful modernization while respecting tradition, they might revitalize an institution that many consider increasingly obsolete. If they falter, the calls for abolishing the monarchy altogether will only grow louder. Henri's legacy will ultimately be defined not just by his years of service but by this final act of stepping aside with dignity and emotion. He showed that strength includes vulnerability, that leadership sometimes means yielding power, and that love for country can manifest in letting go rather than holding on. Charles remains an enigmatic figure whose true feelings during that ceremony may never be fully known, leaving us to wonder what thoughts produced those revealing grimaces. And Guillaume and Stéphanie begin their journey carrying the hopes of those who believe monarchy can evolve and the skepticism of those who question whether any hereditary system belongs in the 21st century. So here's what I want to know from you. Was Guillaume and Stéphanie's visible happiness during such an emotional moment appropriate enthusiasm for new responsibilities or insensitive joy at someone else's sacrifice?